Like just like sex. What the fuck? So then we start running. For people that I feel like deserve my respect, I give them my utmost respect.
Except for me.
How's a water buffalo?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Old School Matt here. We are back with another Water Buffalo Training Method podcast. Today, though, we're going to be changing it up a little bit, starting a new YouTube series. We're going to be doing a podcast on here with our boy, sous chef Levi Ruiz. Now, Levi Ruiz and I are going to be doing a show on here. It's going to be called Buff Talk. It's going to be a new series that we're going to be doing. And without further ado, I'll introduce you to my co-host, Levi Ruiz.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm not an actual sous chef. don't be taking that wrong. I just cook a little bit. And I just love having a conversation with Matt. I think we're doing this because we have so many great conversations, and people actually enjoy our conversations. You might check it out and be like, these guys are just mindless tools. But if you do enjoy it, make sure you help support, like, subscribe to WBTM, and I hope you enjoy this conversation too.
Sure.
I guess what we've been talking about lately is just like prioritization of like time and money. But let's start with just explaining what you do and how your time and money schedule looks like.
For sure. So we were actually talking about this earlier. We had a little bit of like a pre-podcast. We were talking about it on camera. Mm-hmm. But just so we get started, Levi has a lot of things going on for himself. So I definitely want him to introduce himself first so you guys kind of know who he is. I know he's kind of shy, so he kind of cut himself short because he wants me to do all the talking. But Levi, real quick, tell them what you do on a daily basis, because he was just saying how I do a lot of things. Now, this guy probably does more things than I do times like 4, and then probably add Lawrence's to-dos on top of it, and Levi does more than both of us put together.
My occupation right now is I'm a firefighter paramedic for Boca Raton Fire Rescue, and I also, in my hobbies and free time, I have a band that we're like a rock band. We're based out of West Palm, and that's one of my favorite things to do. I also have a studio where I record and mix and master clients. And what else? Oh, I have a girlfriend. Having a girlfriend / wife. We're not married yet, but she's the wifey type. So that takes a lot. I think in any relationship, whether it be friend, coworker, family, significant other, every relationship takes time and effort. That's why sometimes you see the people that are so hardcore spending time and effort into their jobs. They maybe put a little less time into some relationships, and it's all about balance. That's actually what we're going to talk about today. Yeah. Is balancing everything and achieving that.
Time prioritization and whatnot. So we were talking earlier a little bit about, prioritizing our time and making sure that we're doing everything we possibly can to, achieve our dreams and goals. Obviously, with me and Levi, I do a lot of different things. I work, as many of you guys might not know, I actually work for an insurance company part-time. I'm a teacher's assistant. I go to school still while running Water Buffalo Training Method. And like Levi just said, he's got a lot of things going on. And something that me and Levi were chatting about earlier, and we always chat about kind of like on the side when we're having conversations, was that time is money. For me,
same thing.
Time is money, but time is also opportunity. So like obviously time does not equal money. Like they're not synonymous. You can have a lot of time and make no money. Time equals opportunity, which equals money. I'm not good at math, so figure that out somewhere. No, but like we were talking about how time and how you put your time and efforts into things that you can do will help you later in the future, and kind of talking about how like doing a lot of things can kind of be a good thing too. Like kind of having a lot of things going on can kind of keep you busy. And that's something I like to do too, is always keep myself constantly busy. And as I was telling Levi, I would love to just sit here and do these all day and like just create programs, create content, create new products. And one day it will get to that point. But, obviously I have a lot of obstacles. One of them being financial obstacles, that we're still young. We still got a lot of stuff going on. So we have to invest our time in other things. And honestly, for me, it's helped me a lot. Because if I were to just jump into this whole entrepreneurship thing and say, you know what, I'm going to go find an investor, I'm going to take a loan out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and all I have to do is work on Water Buffalo, I feel like it wouldn't put me under the same type of needle, the same type of pressure as saying, like, I need to make X amount of money so I can get this, I'm going to do this, because it makes the time for Water Buffalo seem way, way more it's almost more like intimate because I don't have all day to be spending on water buffalo. Sometimes it's like 4 hours. I'm crunched under these 4 hours. I have to do this by this time because I have to study for school. I have to do this. I have to do that. I feel like this helps me even more. And a lot of times people tell me, and this is something that I wanted to touch on too, is a lot of times people say I don't have time for it, or I don't have enough time. I don't have this, and I'm too busy. If you're truly too busy, you need to look at all the aspects of your life and see how much time and effort you're putting into things that may not be as important. For example, I gave up, going out and casually drinking on the weekends and stuff like that. I gave up, fun times and stuff so I can put in other things in my life that will not just bring me fun, but bring me, long-term fulfillment and being content over a long period of time.
But just so we're talking about the balance, you didn't give up as in like you're depressed because you never have any fun.
No.
You gave up the stuff that you could go without.
Exactly.
Because
exactly.
you care, because you have a priority of other things.
Exactly.
And we'll keep getting into this, but who do you look up to and who mentors you? Not saying that you have one, because I would probably agree at the same time. We probably both don't have one big mentor, but like, what do you think about when you start something like this, the work that goes in and mentoring and getting your ideas of where you're going to put your time? What do you do for all that?
So if we're going to be talking about mentorships, like actual programs, we've been in. I don't know if you've been invited to like something like that before, like a mastermind or something like that, where you pay a certain amount of money a month and you get involved with like a network of people, which I think is fantastic if you have the money for it. I've been invited to some to do some, but I think that I don't really have mentors per se. I have people in my life that I look up to and that they help me. I have like different phases of those people. I have people in my circle that I look up to that I can actually contact and reach out to. I have people that are like within my, I can talk to, but I wouldn't reach out to them on like a daily basis or weekly basis. Like my boss, for example, is one of those people. Like I'm not going to bother him with stuff. He does some graphic design stuff. So like I'm not going to bother him every day. Like, hey, I want to do this for Water Buffalo. Can you show me? But if it's something really important, I'll reach out to him. Someone I guess in the closer circle will be like my mom or like a cousin or like maybe like you, for example, or a close friend.
I was gonna say the same about you, bro.
We'll see you guys in a little bit. No, so 3 phases. People in the close circle, like I'll use you for example. If I need some help with, like, hey, can you give me your opinion on this video? I'll come out to you. Something a little bit more serious, like let's say the apparel drop for the Freedom tank tops that we made. I wanted his opinion on the design and how the character looked, and he, told me some tweaks, and Buff Sauce too. He helped me with that. Those are big things, right? And then there's like a more giant circle of people I don't know. So like people that I look up to, but I can't necessarily reach out to them. I mean, I could, but I'd probably have to pay like a couple $100s to like talk to them on the phone for like 15 minutes. But those are people like, for example, one of the people for me was like Rich Piana. I don't know if you remember him. 5% Nutrition. I liked his stuff because he was super like he kind of influenced me a lot in the way I am today. Being hardworking, dedicated, doing whatever it takes, putting all your efforts into the things you like. So those would be my mentors, but I don't actually pay for a mentorship program because I think that putting in the work myself is a lot more important and a lot more fulfilling. And I actually enjoy the shit I do. Not gonna lie. Like when I sit down, sometimes these videos take me 6-7 hours to make. And rather than, let's say, 3 of those hours, I could have went out and fished. And I love fishing. Don't get me wrong. I'll fish for the rest of my life. Sometimes I would rather take those 3 hours, not because I'm obsessed with building the business, but like going back and watching Levi do funny stuff or like me say funny things or, just having the satisfaction of like, oh, that was such a cool ass like transition, or that was really like that shot super dope. Like for me, I enjoy it. Like it's become like
that's
fun.
part of being obsessed and part of enjoying something. Sometimes being obsessed and enjoying it that much is what makes you successful. Because when you enjoy something, you put more time into it.
Exactly. So like for you, for example, for music, what would you say like is something that you enjoy the process too? Because I see you, I see you like one time he was at my house and he was sitting on the couch with headphones in with his feet up on my couch. Don't ever do that again. No, he was listening to music on like Reddit or something. You remember that?
Yeah.
You were listening to people's stuff and he was giving them feedback. I was like, dude, that's how you know you love something. When you're like chilling instead of like going on Instagram and looking at, someone's OnlyFans page. Wink, wink. No, I'm just kidding. Instead of bullshitting on your phone or like, whatever, talking shit about someone else or just kind of wasting your time, in my opinion. If you're like actually sitting there and like, I'll catch myself doing that stuff too sometimes. Like sometimes I'll catch myself reading studies on my phone and I'm like, wow, I'm a nerd. Yeah. But
but like that, I feel like, dude, there's so many things we talk about. Like we have to keep this in hours or whatnot. But just the fact that time is money. I know I keep saying that, but it literally is. And like what you just said, with what you do with your time, you can enjoy it, and that's not a waste. Like people think that, oh, when you take a whole day and you're with your significant other watching, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings marathon, the John Wicks, whatever your favorite movies are, it's not wasting time.
No.
If you have those times at
unless that person's not worth it, then don't waste your time. But
totally different podcast. Literally, we could talk about so much, but yeah, like if I'm on Instagram relaxing, that relaxation time is time spent building your mental health, because I think relaxation and kind of winding down is so important. And then there's also like if there's sometimes, have you ever had such a long day and there's still stuff you need to do, but you finish it all up on your phone? You're nodding off while you're on your phone. Have you ever had that?
Yeah, I've tried to transition myself from enjoying, like, I'm not trying to like disagree with you, but I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like I don't. This is funny, and I don't really scroll on social media. Like, as much as I want people to watch my stuff, I don't scroll unless I feel like I need to look at, like, I'm looking for something. Sometimes I don't watch people's stuff, not because I don't want to, but I feel like with the amount of time that I have in my day, a lot of times it's better well spent on, like, something I've been getting into recently a lot has been reading books.
Yeah.
So I've been reading a lot.
Actually, I'll agree with that. I mean, maybe not reading, but I definitely think there's so many things that I have to do to be productive and that contribute to, whether it be the band, my relationship, my career. There's so much to do. To me, scrolling sometimes seems like a waste of time.
No, and it sometimes it's not. I do follow a lot of good people on social media, and like I'll watch people's posts that I think are really valuable to my time. But for me, winding down per se would never be me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, that's not.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
I mean, you said that was you, and it's all right.
Well, I said that
you're a
some
loser.
people.
No, just kidding. No, but
yeah.
For me, winding down would be kind of, I don't know. So like I said, reading has been something I've been into lately. Kind of watching different professionals in my field do what they do is something else I like to do.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think for me, winding down would probably either be playing music, obviously, or just listening to music, because I appreciate other people's music, and I think like for you, because you see how much work goes into something, you appreciate the other side of it.
For sure, I'll watch sometimes just like workout edits to get ideas.
Yeah.
Or like
even, that's fucking badass. Rewind it again. Rewind it. Look again.
Just look at it. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's so nice.
But like you're saying, life is not always about working your ass off towards what you're doing. Sometimes you have to enjoy the fruits of your labor per se. You have to enjoy, like, just kind of live in the moment. But what I've found is that transforming some of the things that you would call work into things that you enjoy, you kill two birds with one stone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's actually, I think that's taking your entire life, and when you combine things like that, it's almost like literally, how do I say it? It's not doubling your life, but if you can work and enjoy it at the same time, your other free time that you have from getting your, like, dude, there's so much to talk about. I'll start out with, let's start with just like functionalist theory, that everybody in a certain society, if most people believe one thing, that's the norm. And the norm in our society is probably
prostitution.
I was gonna go a little different route. No, I was kind of saying the fact that everyone needs to contribute to society in order to reap rewards and benefits from it. We call this a job.
Capitalism.
And I mean, exactly. In a capitalist country like the United States of America, you put your time and effort into something that help turn the cogs and the gears of our life, and in return you get that time with a representation of currency called money. It's cash, it's coins, it's whatever. So the more cash and money you have is almost people saying, oh, you've put this much time and effort in. And we have a really sometimes fucked up, sometimes well put in way of representing the amount of more time, more money. But I think when you, like, to kind of undigress to back to what Matt was saying, if you can find a job where you're contributing to society, but you're also enjoying it, that is so invaluable. And I think that's what people call chasing your dreams. And America is a great place to be able to choose that, because I think if you live your life like you don't hate your job, but it's definitely something that you don't enjoy more than anything else in your life, which is, I think, over 99% of the entire population. You go to work, it's like, oh, I have to go to work today. And then when you're off work, that's when you enjoy your life and you spend your money, you make your memories. Where I think what we're both trying to do is do something we enjoy for
sure.
money. And
Yeah.
I think and once we get to that point, it's it kind of opens your life up to like, wow, I did it. And it's going to take some reevaluation when you get there. But I just wanted to tell everybody out there, chase your dreams. If you have something it's going to take a lot of work, it's up to you. You can not put in the work now to achieve that, but you could also not, you could not achieve that goal and not enjoy later. Vice versa, if you how do I word this? If you sacrifice now, you reap the benefits later. But if you don't have to sacrifice now and you enjoy it later, that could be your version. Like, yeah, I may not have to put in all that work in, but now I get to enjoy my life right now.
Definitely.
But yeah,
and honestly, I don't like when people say I want to retire at like 35. I would like to retire at like a younger age, but I want to keep going. Like I enjoy this stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy being in the game. I enjoy, I have a lot of goals I want to hit, and I'm sure you do too. And I wanted to touch on this because you talked about certain things that you like to put your time and money towards.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you this too. I'll say my 3 things, but 3 things that I've kind of lived by these principles too over the past, I'll say, year to 2 years. I only spend my money on 3 things. Things that will make me better, things that will make me smarter, and things that will make people that I love happier. I don't know if you can agree.
Wow. I mean, now that you said that, that's like, I feel like that's the key to not waste your money.
So things that I'll explain. Things that'll make me better. Better, it can be many things. Physically better, financially better,
mentally better,
yeah,
emotionally,
sexually better,
anything like that.
anything like that. Things that will make me smarter, because I guess that kind of goes in with better, but I kind of wanted to put emphasis on smarter because I feel like
books or educational,
anything like I said, it kind of fits into smart better, but I kind of wanted to separate it from myself because I feel like a lot of times we think that we know everything, and I sometimes feel like that too. Sometimes I'll look at what I'm doing and I'll be like, damn, I know this all. And then you go and you look and you're like, it's like that little graph where it's like how much you think you know and how much you don't know, and sort of shit like that.
You only know the tip of the iceberg. Yeah. And there's always somebody better than you out there that knows more. Dude, that's in every part of life. Like, anything we say in this conversation can be just taken metaphorically, put to others. There's always somebody bigger than you in the gym. Yeah. There's always somebody smarter than you. And there's always...
No, there's not someone bigger than me, but other than that, I mean, just kidding.
Me. It's like, I'm just kidding. There's always somebody better, and honestly, especially, and this is a big thing in the fire service, is constantly learning and growing. Mm-hmm. The day, because people, if you're a salty, 30-year firefighter or any profession, how it may be, you ask them truly, and the ones that truly love the job and stuff like that, they're always learning. They're learning as much information as someone who's learning on year 1. The day you stop learning is the day you stop bettering yourself. And that's the day you don't fail. Everyone deserves to relax and maybe coast a little bit, but as long as you keep learning, you're just constantly growing, and you're passing people up who, might be more years on. But if you constantly learned for 5 years, and once they got to year 2, they stopped, and they've been there for 10 years, I consider in your head, as long as you stay humble about it, you can truly become greater.
And you can do anything you want to do. It just depends on it depends on how hard. It literally just depends on how hard you want to work and how you manage your time. Yeah. That's literally what it is. Because I see a lot of times people say that they're not where they want to be, or they're not they're not this, they're not that. But a lot of times, like, they put in a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what's necessary that needs to be put in. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I even think that of myself too sometimes. Sometimes I could work harder. I could work longer at it, and I try to. Because I feel like every time it kind of digress from this conversation of time and money, just real quick, the harder you work, the easier things get, and the more things you can do. Yeah. You know what I mean? So if I work harder, let's just take video editing, for example. Let's say I'm learning how to do After Effects on Adobe After Effects because I want to start getting real serious with the stuff that I'm doing, and I want to start, animating and stuff like that. If I learn how to do that, my content will increase, but then there's always a level on top of that. So I know all this now, right? I know like this ball amount of information I can work. Let's say something that used to take me 1 hour now takes me 15 minutes. those extra 45 minutes that I could be spending, I could be doing more things during that time now because I have the skills that I need to have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's actually how time and money like working collab. Like it's almost like paying for an HOA, like in a house,
Yeah.
or living someplace. Oh, I don't have HOA fees, but if you have a lawn, you have to mow that lawn. So you either have to spend the time to mow that lawn, or you pay someone to do it for you. And if you're thinking like an entrepreneur, but if you pay someone to do it for you, you can spend that time making more money. Yeah. Or I mean, or you just don't mow your lawn.
Yeah, you just
and then make more money during then. But your lawn, it can get a little wild. But
I wanted to hit on that last point that I was talking about. Is because like the first two things are kind of like selfish things, and the last about three things I like to spend my money on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The last thing is spending money on people that I love. I feel like that's important. And a lot of times, yeah. So like Levi, like I'll buy him dinner every now and then. Spending money on people that you love, and this is a whole nother conversation too. You got to make sure you're loving the right people and people love you back, obviously. Yeah. And this is not just intimate relationships. I'm talking about friendships, family,
just any relationship
in general. Because giving back is always it always feels good.
It's always a two-way street. Always.
Yeah, it always feels good. And that's something that, the first two things you spend your money on, you can be selfish with. They don't have to be exactly what I say, but make sure one of the things in your life that you spend money on is for others. I always try to give back. I always try to make others feel good. I always try to make others feel like they, and they have to deserve it too. I'm not going to give my money to anybody. Not everyone deserves my money. Not everyone deserves my time. Obviously, we're saying, but giving people, gifts, giving them, maybe not monetary gifts, but things that you bought in the past that they would like really appreciate. Let's just say, for example, one of my friends, like, dude, it happened during the quarantine, bro. I don't have anything to work out with at home. I had an extra bar. I'm like, dude, you could borrow it for the next, to me, I spent the money on the bar, and for me to give him that is kind of giving him that, respect and giving him that love. Taking people on, even taking someone to dinner, like not jokingly around, just taking someone to go eat some food.
And have a conversation.
A lot of times people appreciate that a lot.
Company's very underrated, I think. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. 100%.
Just having someone that you care about or like just matters to you at all next to you and enjoying their company.
Levi has separation anxiety.
No, but I think that's a key part of life. Mm-hmm. And honestly, if we're gonna get anything out to you guys via this podcast, I think the biggest thing we can both agree on is that yin yang balance of time and effort. Mm-hmm. Like you just literally said, put in effort to people that are only giving back to you, and don't keep putting in if they're not giving back. But we all have those friends sometimes that they're going through a rough time, and that they need a little extra, and you should be putting in that extra, or significant other, it could be friend, could be coworker, whatever, and they're giving you way less than you're giving, but it's going to come back around. That's the key about finding that balance, and I want to take that and segue into that balance when it comes to time and money is just invaluable. Everyone has a different balance. You have to find it in your life, and how we manage this in different parts of our lives, your priorities will change and your balance will change. But as long as you constantly adapt the balance of time and money to your life, I don't think you'll ever fail at anything. Because let me take for me, for example, and you can speak next. Like when I was in paramedic school, I put school first, and then music had to take under it because I knew once I made it through school and I got hired at a great job, I could take that free time from the job now and put it into music more. And now I have more time and money, literally, because of the job and time off of the job to put into the music and everything else I'm doing now. And I knew that I wasn't accelerating as fast in that year that I was going through school. Or I went through 5 years of school, but that last year was a monster. I had to put things in the back burner, knowing in the back of my head the balance is still, even on your metaphorical scale, because in the future you're going to make up for it. And I think, what would you say would be perfect for people like us with money? Let's keep time separate right now. Let's say money. I like to say this all the time, and this is what you guys need to be getting out of this podcast. You need to have saving some money for your future. You need to risk some money for your dreams if you chase dreams, or if your dream is to have a job and come home every night to your significant other and children or family, then you've already achieved your dream. So you need to save money and enjoy money. And if you have something that you're trying to build, you risk money. I have my balance, my personal balance. What would you say about that kind of trifecta? Save, enjoy, and risk.
Right now, it's a little bit more about building and doing what I have to do in my business to make sure it keeps growing, putting out stuff.
Yeah.
So
So your risk is probably a little bit
a
thicker.
little bit higher, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know that I'm in a little bit of an incubator period. I'm still in school, so I
Yeah.
got like scholarship money and stuff like that
Yeah.
to ride out with. But as like I said, I'm going full time in probably 3 or 4 weeks. So I know that it'll be a little bit more about saving, investing. I like to invest money. I've invested this past year for the first time in my life. Really, I used to do it a little bit back in my beginning years of college, but I really started to get into it. And I think the most important thing about money is always knowing that you're going to have some sort of flow of money. If you don't know that you're going to have money, then obviously you need to be on the defensive.
That takes priority. Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to be on. If you're like struggling right now, and this is something that I don't really like about the social media entrepreneurs. Is like sometimes they preach this dream about just like going after what you have to do, and that's true. Like you should go after your goals, but you can't be stupid.
Yeah, look
Like,
at Gary Vee. He worked.
Yeah,
till
he
was
worked, yeah.
like
That's
what
what
was
I
it,
was gonna
30 or 40? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump on you, but
Just don't let it happen
he
again.
had that. Yeah. No, he had that. He knew that he was gonna have to take a loan out, but his loan wasn't a literal loan from a bank. The loan was his time from this age to this age, and saving that money. That was his loan.
Yeah,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
And keep going.
No, I was gonna say that like that's why I try to keep as busy as I can. That's why I try to make money on the. I have a lot of other things that I make money on the side from. Depending on what you want to talk about, we'll kind of leave it at that. I don't do anything illegal, but I have different like let's just say for example like labor and stuff like that. Like if people need help doing this and that, I'll pick up any job.
Yeah.
2-3 hours, I'll pick it up. Whatever.
Yeah, side hustles.
Side hustles. We'll leave it at that. But anything that you can do at a young age to make sure you're building wealth. Right now, like I said, I'm putting everything back into Water Buffalo. I'm trying to make it grow. I'm seeing, I try to make sure that I break even when in terms of expenses to the amount of money we're making every month, and I do a pretty good job with that.
Yeah.
And then I use the money from my one of my jobs, which is a teacher's assistant. I use that. I save that money for like enjoyment. That's like my play money, a couple $100 every week to kind of play around with. But I don't really play. So like when I say play money, honestly, play money is like, oh, I want to buy this mouse pad that says Water Buffalo training method on it.
Or this wireless mouse.
Yeah.
Or without not have to deal with wire. Dude, it's play money is like honestly, your play money, and I can tell your play money goes towards your business because you love it so much. Yeah, no, that's how I am. Like I want to buy this fucking new guitar or new rack mount system.
And then my real job, I take that money to like pay for like my actual expenses and save for whatever I have to like put some money back in the bank account.
Yeah, it almost comes to like you ever heard of Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Yeah.
I don't remember it fully, so you guys will probably yell at me, but like it definitely starts. It starts out with survival, like food, water, shelter, things like that, and the physiological needs, and then it comes up to, your what was the next? Is it the psychological needs, and then social? I forget, but just knowing the base of it, you need to have your survival first. You need to make enough money for water, food, and shelter. Obviously, we live in a post-industrial, like it's all about service society right now. So you need money for, where you live and where you're going to eat. And some people sometimes that might be all they have. But just keep that balance. I feel like I keep going back to that, and that's where we're going to constantly come back to that yin yang. It's like when even people who are on a lower socioeconomic class level, and I hear all the time, and I actually don't like this. I hear people say, "Oh, if you don't have enough money to buy this, and it's something that maybe they have, you shouldn't be buying this." And I get that, and I get that everyone. Like your priorities might not be somebody else's priorities. And if you can't afford lamps in your house, what if you just don't care? You don't care about being in a dark house and opening up the windows for light, but you have a really nice TV or a nicer car or something like that. Everyone, including any socioeconomic class, deserves luxuries and deserves to enjoy life because we're here for a limited time. And I don't like when people say you shouldn't be doing this, but I know in my head what I'm willing to sacrifice for my goals. Like I'm not willing to sacrifice my relationship for my goals, but at the same time, I'm willing to sacrifice a weekend. What?
I was gonna ask you a question, but I'm not gonna ask you that. I'll say you just said sacrifice your relationship to for your goals?
I used to. I never found anybody like. I mean, like I'm dating now. I used to be like, Psh, nobody's worth like if I want to do this and commit to my band and stuff like that. That's dude. Nobody's gonna get in the way of what I need to achieve. But then I realized once I got my relationship, how much time and effort I built into it. I know now that I will never have to sacrifice it.
Yeah.
And I'm in the situation now where I'll probably never.
So I'll kind of.
You're probably on the other side of the same coin.
Nah, I'll loop back to what he just said. So I recently had a switch in gears in terms of like intimate relationships. And honestly, with all the stuff that I've seen going on in my family, so my family immigrated here when they were in their 20s. My parents came here as immigrants, and they kind of built their life as best as they could here, and they did an amazing job. Obviously, I have so much, and I'm so grateful for everything we do. But I am gonna flip the side on that with you. I would even go to say that at this point in my life, with the amount of, if I had to choose one, the love of my life versus building the business that I would love to have.
Mhm.
Like, I have a vision for Water Buffalo. Obviously, we've talked about it, and people probably know. Like, I want this to be, take over the fitness industry. I want to change lives. I want to make sure that people have a place to be and feel comfortable when they're where they're at and have like a family sort of thing.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, would I would rather have an intimate relationship that's gonna be love of life, love of my life, soulmate, or would I rather impact millions of people, thousands of people, make them better, make them feel like they have a place to be? I would choose Water Buffalo. I'm sorry,
and that makes sense. Like this dynamic right here is perfect, and this dynamic changes across everybody.
But
So- keep going.
Don't get me wrong. There was a point in my life where I would not. There was a point in my life where I was with somebody that I believed that I wanted to marry and I wanted to be with, and I would give anything, including my business, for that. But I've seen that my family has already achieved that. My mom's been with my dad for 30 years. My grandparents are together 52 years. As much as I would desire and want that, and I think one day I will get that. I think that having faith in God and being able to have a vision for that, I definitely think that one day I will get there and I'll have somebody like that. But if I had to choose between one or the other, my family's already achieved all that.
Yeah.
But my family has never achieved something to where they could say, I want to go down as somebody that people don't forget about when they talk about working out, bodybuilding, and fitness.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be Mr. Olympia. I'm not going to be any of that. But for example, I'll just take like Rich Piana, for example. He was a legend. And nobody will ever forget him. He was never Mr. Olympia. He was a giant dude. But a lot of people remember him for being a freaky guy. But the people that really knew him, a lot of people remember him for being a very generous guy and kind of putting together a community in the fitness industry that kind of made everyone feel at home. Like his business was about people that were, kind of like the outcasts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My business is a little bit different. Water Buffalo is different. I'm not trying to appeal to outcasts. I'm just trying to appeal to a certain type of person. So kind of similar in a way. I would much rather, and like I said, a couple months ago, I probably would have maybe been different and kind of chose the other side about this. I still would be kind of on the line, even if I found that soulmate. But as of right now, and as of what I've been, I pray every night and I try to make sure that I have a faith in God and talk to God and try to get the best message out of Him. But right now, for me, and I think for the rest of my life, it'll always be about not money. I don't care about money. I really don't. I mean, obviously having a lot of money is nice and building a family is nice, and that's what I want to do. But for me, I'd rather sacrifice that to be able to help a lot of people and make people laugh, make people feel like they have a place to be, make people feel like they can connect with something and be part of something greater.
And changing many, many, many lives.
Yeah, and change people's lives. Like, right now we're not huge, like I said, but there's a lot of people that appreciate the stuff we put out, and there's people that feel like they're actually part of a grander community and family, and giving other people purpose in life too. Like a lot of times, people, one of my friends or somebody who joined the program said that we changed their life, and like I said, it's small scale now or medium, whatever you want to call it, but as time progresses, I feel like for me, that's way, way more important, and I'd rather just give up my life for that than give up my life for somebody else. Yeah. And I'm not saying what you're doing is wrong, because I think your girlfriend is an amazing person, and I think if you find the right person, then you can kind of do both together, like you were saying. Like, she doesn't get in the way of your goals, and she doesn't get in the way of what you do. But for me right now, I'd rather choose the latter.
Exactly, and I'm so glad that you said that, because I think everybody that watches this, they don't have our exact positions in life. Everybody's different, and for me, I've been through other past relationships, and it came to one when I realized no matter what, you have to focus on yourself and make your own path. And when somebody else significant comes in your life that you maybe want to be with forever, you have to make sure that you're not changing paths for them, but that their path comes up and joins yours, and you guys go that way together. I think that's one of the strongest things. And not only has as my girlfriend like went in the same direction, if we're talking the same metaphor, but she supported my path. She supports my music. She supports my dude. She helps me. She designs. She does like crafts and stuff like that. She has made my path bigger and move faster, and that's almost a blessing. It's because you get both, and they all get better. They synergize if you can really fathom what I'm trying to say.
No, and like obviously that would be ideal for me. I'm just talking about on the and I'm
you're in a different position.
Yeah, I'm not with somebody right now, but the person I'm speaking to, I feel like could have a potential of being like that. But like I said, after you get a taste of what it's like to feel that you kind of get that tunnel vision and you feel like nothing can stop you, there is not anybody or anything in the way, and you can mark this down today, whatever. There's nothing or any obstacle that's going to come in my way, especially not a person, that's going to make this harder for me. If it's kind of like that mentality of like either you're in the way or you're either in or you're in the way. Sort of
yeah,
thing.
Yeah, I get that.
Like I said, I definitely have many experiences, and I have a lot of people that I love, and I treat people very well. I think, even though I don't have a lot of money to give, I try to be as generous as I can. But when it comes to time, and we can wrap this back up to time and money, you got at the end of the day, you got to kind of be selfish with it, and you got to be selfish with it in terms of. When I think selfish, I don't think, everything for me. When I think selfish, I think things that matter to me. So being selfish for me might be selfless. Someone might be like, how is that selfish?
No, I totally get that.
Like for example, like if my mom wants something and I'd rather take that money and spend it on her than go and take a girl out on a date. That's selfish for me because that's my personal, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
but it's selfish in a way because you care about it. And that's almost like it in that same aspect. I didn't mean to cut you off, but like when you... Let's say you see someone who's really less fortunate. He's sitting on the side of the road. Maybe he doesn't have a home in that moment. And you will feel so good by giving him every single cash bill in your wallet. The smile on his face, just the imagining how it made him feel makes you warm your heart. Technically, if we think about that, that's almost selfish. You're not doing it because I have to do this. Mm-hmm. You're doing it because you want to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that kind of goes to you.
Selfish has a bad connotation sometimes, but sometimes it's not bad.
But in a way, you're doing it because it makes you feel good. And if it didn't, it's because you care about your mom that you want to give that money. It's selfish because it matters to you, but it's selfless in the act of itself.
Exactly.
It's almost like everything in this world comes back around to
being
selfish in a way.
But sometimes people, put the word of selfish with like being like a narcissistic and an asshole. And
when the entire world revolves around you and what matters to you only involves you.
But see, that's the thing. With me, the things that I'm like kind of different. The things that matter to me are other people.
Yeah, exactly. And the people around you.
And that
is a big thing too. And then honestly, you just kind of brought up a really good dynamic that comes up with time and money. And I think that's drive. Because I was trying to think of where drive comes in, but I don't think it does it blend in, or is it like it's a parallel aspect? Because when you have time and money and you have your prioritization schedule of let's say money, it's enjoying, risking, and saving, and time, you have your days out, you have what you're going to do in each day. Your drive is how much of that time you want to put to the hard work and how much of that time you want to enjoy. I think, and the same with saving, that drive helps with changing your priorities too. I kind of don't know where that comes in, but I know it has to be a parallel aspect.
Being driven?
Especially like, because I know people, and please tell me you know people like this too, and no names, and they probably don't even know that like I'm thinking about them like this, but they'll like have work from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock, right? 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And I'm like, hey, you want to hang out, or like you want to do this? And this isn't anybody I know close with. It's actually somebody that I know that knows.
Just say his name. It's this guy named Jimmy.
No. He's
you know Jimmy?
No, it's actually a girl, but it's like they. Oh no, I can't do anything that day. I have work. And usually if you say, hey, can you do this today? Can you do that today or whatever? If somebody says no, I have work that day, you kind of just, if you're respectful, it depends on what level of relationship you're with them. Oh, okay, maybe we'll catch something next week. But if you're at like a really close, like it was my girlfriend or something, or you or something really close with, I'd be like, oh hey, what time do you get off?
Yeah.
And then 5, and I'm like, oh, 5 doesn't work for me. what time do you go in? And they're like 2. I'd be like, what? Because usually if someone says 5, I would assume, a lot of people work 9 to 5 say, oh, they're going at 9 or whatever. And it's like, for us, it's the opposite. We get up, workout from 8 to 9:30, eat real quick, go to a doctor's appointment at 10:15, finish, do a podcast during the noon, go enjoy time with your family, and then do a water buffalo barbecue at the end of the day. Literally, like, time is so invaluable to us.
Yeah, and honestly, recently, because I went out of town, I got frustrated as hell because I've been in and out of town and traveling, and I want to hit on this last point before we kind of close out.
Yeah, for sure.
This just came up because I said traveling, and I'm sorry to kind of digress.
No, I love digression.
My time is, I'm blocked every hour of the day because there's always stuff I could be working on. There's always like, I'd rather finish a video early and then be able to go back and look it over and then post it rather than being like last minute, posting it or whatever. Or I don't know, like coming out with new designs or working on a program for somebody or fixing the website or anything. There's always things I could do. There's like 1,000 things I could do right now. So it's never about being busy. I'm always busy. Mm-hmm. And if I'm not busy, then I can find time to give it to other people. But I said traveling. I want to put this out there real quick because we're talking about time and money. Traveling. That's one of the things a lot of my friends have been around the world, have spent tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars traveling the world. That's something I sacrificed. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, no, that's why I think about the band actually. I don't know about you, if you think your business will take you there too, but if once I get to my goal and we're touring outside of America, then I'll get to see other places in the world and get paid for it because we're playing shows.
See, I would rather travel when I have a lot of money, so I don't have to be like, oh, let's go. What's it called? Where they like stay in the little hotels with everyone else. You know what I'm talking about? Backpacking hostels.
I forget.
Whatever the fuck they're called.
You know what it is. You let us know in the comments.
Hostels. I would rather be in a resort and be, I know it's not the same experience sometimes. Sometimes it's cooler to be in like that, but I'd rather see. This is what I kind of. This is my last thing about money. I would much rather. I don't drink. I don't do drugs, but I would much rather now be at the bar drinking as much as I want to drink without having to check my bank account than be me now, like at 21 or 19, and be like checking, okay, make sure I have enough money this month to buy these drinks, or let me make sure. I would rather be 35 and doing that, going out to dinner, not even worrying about what the bill is going to look like, than doing it now and having to struggle. So that was one of the things I gave up, was going out, traveling. Traveling was a big thing because I know a lot of my friends travel. And do I wish I could travel? Not really, because like I said, I was traveling this last month. I went to like three times. I went out of my house and I went to 2 different states. It honestly, dude, like when you love what you do, you get pissed. Like I was like, I'm there, I'm enjoying myself, but I'm like, okay, 4 days have gone by. It's just too much. It's just too much for me. Like 4 days is too much.
Yeah. And honestly, and just because everything has a give and take in this world, and if you're wondering what the give and take of him pushing his traveling back is, the give and take is a risk of not knowing whether you can, because we could die at any second. When you push something back towards later and you're being patient, the reason patience is such a weird concept is because whether it be a day or it be years, is you're waiting for something and telling yourself it can come later, God willing, but the risk and the give and take, you're like, oh yeah, why can't I just, if you had your life, okay, I'm living until I'm 60, you knew that, oh yeah, I'll switch traveling over here and this, we could prioritize like that, but we can't do that because when it ends is a mystery. Mm-hmm. His risk that he takes is pushing it to when he's older. For sure. And that's the give and take of being, patient.
Definitely.
Yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to close out on is just that time and money schedule. And I love, if you're wondering why we're telling you these things, okay, I know this douchebags are prioritization. I know this tool's prioritization. Like, why are you telling me this? Because it changes with everyone. And I think, can you read with me on this? The reason we tell you is because if you see ours as an example, then you find yours, what you consider first, second, and third with your money, first, second, and third with your time, and when you find that and it's flat, you see it, you hear it, and you visualize it, and it's become your actual prioritization. That word becomes something, it comes alive in your life. I think we can both agree it changes you. When it's time to relax and enjoy like a weekend vacation, you truly enjoy it. Yeah. When it's time to grind, you're down to grind because And I think we both are telling everybody about our examples and our schedules and prioritizations is because we want you to find yours, and we promise when you do, it really, the stress of the unknown, it changes your life. There's no way to say it. It changes your life for the better.
Yeah.
And I think that's what wraps this up. The reason we came at you with our examples and our anecdotal experiences, is that redundant? Anecdotal experience?
Yeah.
Or anecdotes.
Yeah.
Is for you to see where we are. Think back on your experiences and what matters to you the most. I guarantee you, I can't not guarantee you, when you prioritize your time and money, your drive will go up and your life becomes better.
For sure. I wanted to hit on that last point kind of to close out too. Yeah. The biggest thing for me is, if you think you're spending your money on things that matter, if you're doing the best you can to take it, like you said, it's give and take. So if I'm not traveling, I have a couple extra $1,000 a month to be spending on whatever I want. I could be spending that on new car, spending on that
on house appliances, decor, like
whatever I want. But for me right now, it's more about, like almost like that eating shit type of mentality.
Yeah.
Spending it on what I love, and if I fail, and you were saying, like, life has you never know when life's gonna end. I would be happy if I died today, because I'm doing what I'm doing, and I'm continuing to keep reaching my goals, and we just started I've been going at it since I was 13 years old, but I just found my purpose last year when I started the business. And as time keeps going on, we keep moving forward, and don't think because life is and I, like you're saying, you have to enjoy life, but don't think just because life is short that you can waste your time. In my opinion, it's a waste of life. I would much rather be doing what I'm doing now and have my life end than be on a beach somewhere relaxing, because when people say, if it's your last day of your life, what would you do? I would do exactly what I did today. Exactly. I would do exactly what I did yesterday. I would do exactly what I did the day before. There's nothing I would change. Maybe I'd go fishing or something. But
yeah, exactly. And that's where you are in your life, and whoever's watching, you could be in a different part of your life. You could be the exact opposite. And I'd rather be.
And if you are, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
And if you'd rather be sitting on a beach, sipping on a pina colada, relaxing, your significant other by your side and your family around, and that's your dream, then you guys are both doing it right, because it's literally what we said about realizing your priority. Mm-hmm. And when you put what matters most to what you're doing the most, and what matters least to what you're doing the least, like we both said, changes your life. He's doing it. I'm doing it. And hopefully, if you've gotten this far in the podcast, you're going to do it too.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want you guys to think I don't like spend time. The only people I hang out with is my family and my friends. So
hey, he really doesn't like me. He actually, I paid him to be here.
Anyways, so we appreciate you guys watching the video. We hope you guys enjoy this little series. We're gonna be doing one every week, and I don't care what happens. We're gonna be doing one every single week for at least an hour, or not an hour. The podcast will come out. We already kind of set it up where we're gonna schedule this. So we're going to block out an hour and a half of our time, give you guys 30 to 45 minutes every single week, be doing a different topic every week, or not a topic, just talking about stuff. It could change.
If we have something we want to touch on, maybe 2 a week, or even if we have busy weeks, we do 5, 10, 15-minute one. We do a 2. We're not the Joe Rogan Experience. We're not going to be going for 2.5, 3 hours.
Yeah.
But we're going to give you something, and what we want you to take from this is just we're constantly bettering ourselves, and we just hope you enjoy it at the bottom line.
Enjoy the podcast. Put it on when you guys have extra time, and we'll continue to keep getting better and keep growing, and we'll keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, Buff Squad, we appreciate you guys for watching. That's a Buff Talk, episode number 1, pilot. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and keep watching our stuff. Keep watching us grow, and if you're out there and want to reach out to us somehow, all the stuff will be in the bio. So,
have a good one, guys.
Hey guys, thank you guys for checking out this video. We're so grateful to have you here on our YouTube channel, so make sure to check out all of our other videos ranging from a variety of different type of podcasts to our Buffalo barbecues. Check out our YouTube channel for constant updates on all the stuff that we have going on. You can also follow us on social media like Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. So check us out there. Water Buffalo Training Method, we're out.
Whose are they? Oh shit. Are they? Oh, you gotta send it back. You gotta send it back.
Yeah. But that's perfect. I imagine it faded out. Were you smiling when we paused? We looked cute and just like faded.
What did you pause?